This is a bad 50 here. Your intentions was to cut into midfield since you thought the opponent would think you would knock the ball to the wall. However, he covers the danger since he doesn't care if you take the ball up the wall. And this leads you to getting dunked pretty hard. This is bad because your mate has full boost behind you and he will have to scramble to get possession of the ball. And this also buys the opponent's mate more time to get boost and get back into the play. Here, we needed to take on the 50, but in a way where we kill the 50 dead or we 50 it to the wall in front of you. This then allows your mate to pick up the ball and he will have a clear 1v1 against the opponent who has gone back for boost, or you will have the ball with a chance to make a play with it. Nice follow up. This was a little indecisive. And what I mean by that is it looked like you wanted to challenge but backed off. This could have confused your mate. However, as a side note, it's good to follow the principle of if you can't get the ball, get the car. So in this instance, if you had challenged quicker and much more immediately, such as a head on drive challenge, it would have made things clear to your mate and it would have forced the opponent to flick it over you. But since we know we can't get the ball ourselves, the moment the ball is flicked over you, you simply drive into the opponent's car to demo him. This allows your mate to retrieve possession without having to deal with the opponent taking your corner boost and reapplying pressure once again. Mistouch, but it happens. However, I think you should have corrected your car better to get a 50. After the bump, you just needed to lift your nose up and 50 with the back of your car. And I think mate needed to get a better clear to the corner here. Slow reaction time here. Good pad grabs. I think at GC2, we need to be consistent enough to take a touch that allows us to double tap the ball safely into our corner. Good challenge. Good block. Really good read and carry. Mate does well to help out. Great touch. Good goal, but I believe you needed to air dribble bump to ensure the last man doesn't save it. Good challenge. Here, I think we turned the wrong way once we reached the corner boost. What happened was that we ended up turning back around towards our own net when I believe we needed to turn towards their net to effectively vacate the area quickly. The reason is because by turning back to our own net, it somewhat stifles your mate's natural defensive position, which is to go backboard. And because of that, your mate ends up awkward and having to turn back around and into net. However, by turning towards the opponent's net and letting mate go backboard, it gives you a really good view of the field and exactly how much danger there is. And depending on that, you can make a decision based on what you see much more easily. This happens across all ranks, but we need to face the 50 here. It's a good habit to build. This might seem like a good touch, but it is extremely dangerous. The problem is Mei is so far away with no boost. All the opponents had to do, specifically clapped, was not turn away but to keep on driving at your car and challenge, and you would have likely been dunked and potentially conceded a goal. What I believe was the best to do was to leave the ball, get your corner boost, and try to tank the attack as much as you can whilst in your corner zone until mate grabs boost and helps you out. And yeah, as you can see, we ended up conceding because of it. By taking a touch towards the opponents earlier on, we ended up speeding up the play when mate needed the play to be slowed down. Good clear to the corner. Great block. Fantastic bump. This isn't easy, but we needed to speed up the attacking play here. The moment you cut inside on the ball, you needed to dribble it and instantly flick the ball to the backboard for your mate to follow and score. Not a bad carry, but mate needed to jump on the ball the moment you landed, but it seemed like he hesitated. Good 50 nonetheless. Good decision here to stall time for your mate to reposition. Just needed more of a softer touch though. Great flick. A bit impatient here. Big mistake. We really needed to demo the opponent in front of us. It looked like we were too focused on what mate was doing. The earlier unnecessary wave dash messes up our control of the ball here. I understand we are losing the game, but I just don't think it's worth going for the ball here simply because we know both opponents are back, which means one of them will be up for the ball instantly. Here, I think it would have been better to stay grounded and get ready for the first man to take a touch and waste their boost. This potentially would have given you a 2v1 moment. Nothing much to say here except that we just simply rushed our mechanical play. But what's more interesting is that even though we rushed our takeoff, it would have been much easier to correct your car had you also learnt air roll right. I'm a big advocate for mastering air roll left and air roll right, and this is an example of how air roll left didn't help you reach the ball correctly, whereas air roll right would have. Good positioning. Great demo. Nice attempt, but a double tap would have likely secured the goal.